Good afternoon. We are now getting a look at the moments after a Las Cruces police officer shot and killed a 75-year-old woman armed with a knife in her home. News 13's Annalisa Pardo has a look at the video.
You tell me that's not her in there.
I couldn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. But they're gonna go ahead and take her, okay? They're gonna put her in the back.
A family left grieving the loss of 75-year-old Amelia Baca after a 911 call for help turned into a deadly shooting on April 16th. Las Cruces police says they were dispatched to a behavioral health call after a relative said Baca was threatening the family with knives.
He states he's asleep. His wife runs into the room. Him and his daughter are in there. His wife runs into the room, slams the door, locks it, screaming that her mom's trying to kill her. He sees a large, which looks like a butcher knife, swinging and jabbing underneath the door.
The family, including a 5-year-old girl, jumped out of a window to escape. That's when Baca's granddaughter, Albatar Eno, tells police she came over to help. Her grandma, who the family says has dementia, was holding knives when a Las Cruces police officer shows up shortly after.
She was standing, looking at us with her knives down, not pointing, both of them on her hand, and they were both sharp blades towards each other. So
police say they asked her to drop the knives. Eno says her grandma, who doesn't speak English, looked confused.
I don't even know how many times I yelled at him, don't shoot her, she's mentally ill. Don't shoot her, she's mentally ill.
Eno and her mom were right next to the officer. She says she thought the officer had a taser out until she heard 2 gunshots.
And letting him know, she's not a danger. Letting him know she's mentally ill. You know, you guys should have training on how to deal with mentally ill people.
A different officer explains what he saw.
And as I'm walking up to him, I hear the 2 gunshots, and I see a female fall to the floor and a knife in her hand. As she hits the floor, the knife falls out of her hand, lands next to her.
Baca died on scene and her family left with questions.
He was in no danger. No danger at all times. Every time that I saw my grandma, she had her knives down.
Annalisa Pardo, KRQE, News 13.
We did reach out to Las Cruces police to ask why a crisis intervention team wasn't dispatched to the call or why the officer didn't use a taser instead of a gun. We did not hear back. This officer-involved shooting is being investigated by the Doña Ana County Officer-Involved Incident Task Force. The Calf Canyon